If you're thinking about moving down to Florida, and specifically Palm Beach County in Florida, then I'm going to give you everything that I know. And my experience in this is I've now lived in Palm Beach County in a town called Wellington for 6 years. And we moved here from the outskirts of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So if you are considering making this move, you're probably, number one, very, very excited. You want to maybe do what I'm doing right now in a few months. And number two, you're probably very, very nervous. Why? Because making a move down here, it seems like it's a big thing. Like for us, we moved 1,000 miles away, maybe almost 1,100 miles away from everyone and everything that we knew. Besides the realtor, we did not know a soul in Wellington, and I had 3 small kids at that time. They were 9, 7, and 5. So we were nervous for ourselves. Well, my wife was more nervous than me. I'm kind of like a, let's go get it type of guy. But my wife was very nervous. I was sort of nervous, just wanted to make sure that she was okay. My kids were nervous because they were going, although they were in elementary school, they were worried about, hey, can I make new friends? How's my life going to be moving? Again, it's probably even stressier on the kids, to be honest, than it is on the adults. So what I want to take you through in this video is basically how we did it, what our mindset was, because I believe making this move is very easy, and you'll soon understand why. But getting this right up here, is probably the most important thing. And especially, again, if you have a family, you want to make sure that you do it right. You want to make sure that your kids are in a position to succeed, that they're going to be happy. You want to make friends. All these, yeah, you're making a move for whatever reason, but you got to hit those intangibles. And socially, I think that was one big one for us and for our family. So real quick, my name's Jason Eichmiller. I own and run this channel. Like I said, I've been in Palm Beach County in Wellington since we made the move in August of 2019. Which is just a little bit over 6 years ago. And man, I pinch myself. If I don't pinch myself every day, I pinch myself every other day. I'm so happy that we made the move. But it wasn't like that in the beginning. Well, I was excited, but my wife, I'll kind of give you an idea of kind of like where our family was at that point in time. Before I do that, also, I'm a mortgage broker. We work in real estate. So if you are looking to make a move, especially down here in Palm Beach County, I can very easily go over kind of how you can make it work. If you're looking to buy, if you're looking to rent, we can, or buy actually, we can connect you with some incredible realtors down here that I personally do business with. So as far as that, no worries. The mortgage stuff will be for probably for a different video. But yeah, just wanted to kind of introduce myself. If you want to learn more about this, we'll have subsequent videos coming out. Probably talking more about the mortgage aspect, more about the real estate aspect, some pretty neat homes that are on the market. So go ahead and, as they say, smash that subscribe button and you can stay updated on everything. And of course, if you want to reach me, hopefully my contact information will be somewhere below, but you can at least email me at jason@keyhomelending.com. All right, so let's talk about one of the few things that led us to move down. I'm just going to move the kayak a little bit because it's a tiny bit windy here, and we're moving kind of into the shoreline, which is right over there. That's some dude's backyard, and I don't want to be beaching myself in some dude's backyard, if that makes sense. So, all right, we're back, and now I'm staring right at the sun, so I can barely see the camera. But I grew up in Maryland, and I lived in the mid-Atlantic for my entire life. In 2008, I moved to Philadelphia. I was doing a long-distance relationship with a girl who actually became my wife. So super happy that I did. We moved up to Philadelphia, and we had a great life. We had friends. My wife's family, my parents and my family were in Maryland. My wife's family and her big ass family. Like, you're talking cousins upon cousins, 3 sisters, so many cousins. I remember going back in 2008, going to family functions, meeting everybody. I'm like, how many uncles do you have? Like, multiple uncles, multiple aunts. How many cousins do you have? Like, what? I was so nervous just getting just going over the names and the faces when we were going, like, oh man, I'm gonna forget everybody. I'm like the new guy and I'm not gonna know their names. But anyway, suffice it to say, she had a big family up there. We were very happy. And then 3 kids come. We have Alyssa first, Jason second, and then Molly the third. And in the mid-Atlantic, it was just something that I was used to, but literally from November through March and sometimes April, you are inside. I don't have to tell you this. You're probably watching this from somewhere in the mid-Atlantic or Northeast or Midwest where it's cold all the time. And the snow isn't that bad, at least personally. I like the snow. My family enjoyed the snow. But the cold November rain, you know what I mean, again, come October through April, it could be 41 degrees and there's probably going to be a wintry mix where it's 40 degrees, overcast, and just not fun. And you're inside all day. So our kids started to play sports. My son, he was 7 at the time. He was playing soccer and he was trying to play all the time. It's his favorite sport. He now plays travel over here for the Wellington Wave. They're a terrific club. And there are a lot of great clubs down here for soccer, for football, for like really, my daughter plays volleyball. They run track. It's great for sports. But I just started thinking, like, what if they could just be doing this all year round? And we had went to, I remember this was in, I forget the exact month, but it was December or January, and Jay, who was again 7 at the time, now he's 13, about to turn 14, he had a winter indoor soccer tournament. And where we parked, it was in this kind of like, not a construction park, but like an industrial park, I could say. And the wind was just whistling through, and the wind was so harsh, and the weather was in the 20s. And all 3 kids, because we dragged the other 2 kids along, they were too young to stay at home by themselves, they were all crying because they couldn't breathe. And I remember taking gasps like, I couldn't breathe. They couldn't breathe. They were so upset. And that got me thinking, like, what if, and of course, we knew there was a place called Florida, but what if we could actually do this? What if we could make a move down here? So the challenge, the biggest challenge, it wasn't so much work, although you do have to get your employment right down here. And again, topic for another video, but I was a mortgage broker and I can sell loans anywhere. I'm lucky, right? Not everybody is like me. So what you have to do is you're going to have to get a job offer down here. You don't have to start the job, but you just need an executed offer. Or your employer just, and this is just for a mortgage, if you're buying cash and you don't have to worry about any of the employment stuff. But for the mortgage, you have to have a job offer, or your employer just has to say that you can work remote. One of those 2 things, and that'll work perfectly. People overcomplicate it all the time, but it's that easy. So the job thing was easy, but the harder thing, and again, I talked about in the very beginning, I talked about getting our minds right. Some bird is going, ah, ah. The wildlife down here is amazing, by the way. There's otters in this water, there's turtles, there's snakes that are around, iguanas everywhere. There's parks around here where you can see raccoons. Now we're in an HOA, so there really aren't any gators, although everybody says, in Florida, oh, if there's any body of water, there's a gator. There could be, but I've only seen 1 or 2 over the years that I've lived here. But anyway, I digress a lot, as you can tell. But anyway, getting our minds right. So I was okay with it. My family thought it was neat. In fact, my parents, about a year and a half later, they moved down to West Coast Florida, Cape Coral area. But my wife's family, there's a lot of them, and they're just multi-generational Philly folk, Philly Irish folk. Greatest people, just the most wonderful, wonderful people in the world. But let's say that they didn't take so kindly to us moving 1,000 miles away from them. So we got some static from them, and we got some static from our friends up there. And my whole position was like, look, I love you. We're moving to Wellington in Palm Beach County. We're not going to the middle of nowhere. There's literally Fort Lauderdale Airport that's 45 minutes away, but Palm Beach Central, West Palm Beach Airport is 15 minutes away. Flights up, at least to where we're from in Philadelphia, they're pretty darn cheap. you can get where you want to go. Perfect example. We visited them in the Jersey Shore. My in-laws have a house right on the beach in Sea Isle City, if you know where that is. We visited them for Thanksgiving, and I think the total round trip flight cost was maybe like $700, $800, something like that. I mean, it's an expense, but it isn't like you're completely wrecking the piggy bank to do so. So we got a lot of flack from family and some friends, right? I think it boiled down to jealousy, to be honest. We were making a big ass move, and it takes, what's the word in Spanish? It takes some cojones to do it, and rightfully so. I mean, you move 1,000 miles, you don't know anyone. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of fear, and what people who aren't able to do this for themselves because they're too nervous or afraid, well, then what do psychologically? They cast a little shade. So we got some shade thrown on us, and it was tough. It was really tough for my wife. I kind of had the blinders on, and my whole thing was like, I don't give a damn. I don't care. This is my family. I'm going to do what's right for my family, or what I think is right for my family. Who knows? Maybe we could move here and we'd hate it and we'd just move back. But I didn't think so. I thought we had a really, really good opportunity, really good chance to really thrive down here. And woohoo, amazingly, I was right. I'm not right a lot in a lot of things, but this time I got it. But so for me, it was pretty easy, but for my wife, she had a tough time dealing with all of that, because her family members, they're not going to talk to me so much about it. It was more of talking to her. Are you sure? What are the kids going to do? The cousins are going to be so far away. But again, quick, easy flight. Not the biggest deal in the world. So we figured it out. We got our mental headspace right, and that was all good. So we figured out the job thing. Again, I'm a mortgage broker. I can do it everywhere, and I'm not assuming that you have the same luxury as me. And if you are buying with a mortgage or renting, you're going to have that figured out. But again, you can reach out to me, jason@keyhomelending.com, and I can give you some strategies and talk you through everything. A couple of my friends down here are recruiters also. But even if you have a job up wherever you are, a lot of people work remote these days. So you can just continue working remote. That's all good. You just generally need a letter from your employer stating that it's okay. And if you get a new job down here, then they don't need a paycheck or anything like that. All they need is an offer letter that you accept. So, Jason Eichmiller, welcome to your employment. Here's your offer, and then they sign it and you sign it, and that's good enough for the mortgage underwriters. They'll say, okay, you got a job. They'll look at your history too, of course. And if you're 1099, then they're going to want, if you're self-employed, then they're going to want to make sure that you can continue your work down here. Just typical underwriter stuff. They want to make sure they're lending you a lot of money, so they want to make sure that you are making the money and that you can afford. Now, there's also some other programs where you actually you can buy your primary residence without even showing income.
I can't believe it! Wow!
That's right. You can buy a house without even showing income these days. And what the underwriters want to see is they just want to see that you have enough, your credit score is pretty good, and you have enough reserves, meaning cash somewhere. Whereas if you don't have a job or you're not making money for a couple months, then you can use that cash to continue to afford to live. So again, that's a topic for another video down the line, but I want to give you a little bit of because that's something that people are really nervous about, like, oh, how am I going to make money? And rightfully so. You should be nervous if you're moving 1,000 or 2,000 or 500 miles away. How am I going to make money? Good point. Let's figure it out. So we know that you may get a little shade from the family, but again, think about yourself, think about your family, and think, okay, I don't owe anything to anybody except my kids and my wife, or if you're a woman, my husband and my kids. So be a little, I'm saying be a little selfish, but it's not being selfish. It's just taking care of yourself and your family and giving them without a crystal ball, nobody has one, but giving them the best opportunity to live the absolute best life possible. That's my advice. That's what I actually took that advice, and that's why we're down here, and that's why I'll say thriving, man. We're doing awesome. We're loving everything right now. It's winter, by the way. It's winter 2025. I am in a t-shirt, and let's see if I can do this without it dropping, and a bathing suit. And it's going to be 80 degrees today. It's about high 60s, probably high 60s, low 70s, but the sun's coming down. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So we talked about the job. We talked about kind of your headspace. Let's talk about schools, because if you've got kids, and then you want to figure out the school thing, and there's a lot of, and some of it's rightfully kind of justified, but there's a lot of negativity about Florida schools. Florida has, I'm going to feed into the negativity for a second. Florida has some terrible schools, but Florida also has some amazing schools. So what we did when we were, I'll give you the website in a second. Sorry, just adjusting my feet right here. When we were going to move down, our kids, again, they were 9, 7, and 5. Now they're 15, soon to be 14, like next week, and 11. Them growing like weeds, man. We wanted to give them the best, make sure that they just had the opportunity and the access to an amazing education without having to go to a private school. Now, here, there, and everywhere, there are good private schools. If you lay down a whole bunch of cash, you'll get a good education. But moving 1,000 miles away, we did not have a whole bunch of cash to lie down, nor did we want to. I am personally I'm a product of Maryland public schools. They were great schools. So I wanted to make sure that we were in an area that had really, really awesome schools. So we went to this website, and I'll try to flash it on the screen right now. You can take a break of the water views. Went to a website called www.greatschools.org. Again, it's greatschools.org. And on that site, you can put in a zip code. So just look at the area that you kind of want to move to. We picked Palm Beach County because we knew that it was very suburban, close to airports, close to the beach. We're like 25 miles away from the ocean. And it had like we wanted to be suburban, so it had everything that we kind of wanted. So we put in the zip code. Our zip code is 33414. That's Wellington, by the way. And you put in elementary, which is what they were at the time. You put in middle, and you put in high schools. And I can tell you the elementary schools, we're going to micro niche down to my area. The elementary schools, our kids went to equestrian trails. Molly just got out. Molly, this is the first time in like 6 years that we haven't had a child in equestrian trails. Nor will we ever again. It's so sad. They're so wonderful. But they're rated 10. Our kids, Jason and Molly now, Jason's in the 8th grade, and Molly's in the 6th grade. They go to Emerald Cove Middle. My wife actually picked up a job there running front desk. She loves the kids. It's such a great school. That's rated 8 out of 10. And then Alyssa goes to Palm Beach Central High School. Now the high schools aren't rated as high. I think Palm Beach Central is a 6 out of 10, but that's just, you have Wellington High, and you have Garcia High in our area, and then if you look down to Boca or up to Gardens, you'll have other schools as well. Generally, the high schools, I don't know why, I'm not a schoolologist, the high schools aren't rated as high as the elementary and middle schools, but I can tell you, and this is anecdotal, right? Oh, sorry, this is kind of awkward. I'm steering the kayak again. We're getting kind of close to the shore on the other side of the lake, but the wind is blowing. So I can tell you from Alyssa's perspective, maybe I'll see if I can bribe her to be interviewed here on this channel, but she absolutely loves high school. She was a shy kid coming down. They all were. They were nervous about moving down here and the fact that they knew nobody. I mean, it's a tough thing for the kids. They got to have a lot of support. But come high school, she's got an awesome group of friends. We hosted homecoming back a few months ago. We did a homecoming brunch, and they did pictures at our house. And man, she had like 20-something kids. And they're all, as far as I know, I'm sure if they're like me, they're like on the DL, they're stinkers, but they're wonderful. They're great kids, the girls and the boys. They all play sports. Alyssa just made varsity volleyball in her sophomore year. She's really growing there. She runs track. She's in a bunch of clubs. She's so involved. Could the grades be a little better? Maybe, but everything, she's working hard and she's doing great. She's so happy. Molly, our sixth grader, was just elected sixth grade class president at Emerald Cove, and Jason is a 3-year varsity. He's in the 8th grade, so he's a 3-year soccer player, and which is really, really, really rare. So I'm proud of them all. They're doing great. They've got lots of friends. Yesterday was actually Christmas. It was the day after Christmas. After everybody unwrapped their presents, we have a couple neighborhood kids, brother and sister. They came over and they went to the Olympia clubhouse. Our community is Olympia, by the way. They went to the clubhouse. So Jason and Molly and the 2 neighborhood kids took their bikes to the clubhouse, played some football, ran around, played in the playground, and came back right before dark. It was perfect. Alyssa drives her golf cart around the community. It's awesome. What a great, great place. But how do we find it? I'm sorry, I'm digressing a lot. This is a longer video than I thought. But how did we come to this place? So we went on Great Schools and we popped in a couple zip codes, and they gave us the schools, and we figured that we wanted to be districted, that's the word, to one of those schools. And so we said, okay, well, you have Polo Park, which is a great middle school. You have Emerald Cove, which is a great middle school. How do we get into one of these neighborhoods? Now, we wanted to be in an HOA. So there's 2 different ways you can go, probably more than 2 different ways, a few different ways you can go. Number 1, you have the HOA. There's a lot of these communities. All these houses around here are an HOA. This is called Olympia. This is like the middle Lake Olympia, I guess you would call it. That's one way to go. We chose this direction because we didn't know anybody, and we figured that in a big old HOA, there's like 1,700 or 1,800 homes, 22 for sale right now, if you're looking. But in an area like this, there's a lot of families. So, and we checked that with our realtor too. She was really good at giving us communities that had like kind of a history or knowledge of where she knew that there were families and kids there. And again, we knocked it out of the park. What I've found, and again, this is just Olympia, well, actually a lot of Wellington. So take it as anecdotal, but this is the rule, this is like the law for me personally. I found that there's a lot of folks, the people that we made friends with are just like us. They're families who are pretty successful, like doing the right thing from somewhere up north or Midwest or something, and they just wanted to move down here. They wanted to start like the best life possible. They didn't have any complaints. I don't know anybody who was running from anything. We were just running towards something. We were running towards success. And again, we found it in just like attracts like, and we've made friends with some amazing families through the schools, through our community, through kids' sports teams. The social, I'll tell you, man, again, we didn't know anybody, but a couple years in, we're 6 years in now, but even a year and a half in, the social calendar was pretty stacked for us and the kids. So it's pretty awesome. Again, I'm selling you hard on this, but I'm selling you based on my experience living down here. Now, by the way, this is super long, so if you want to just cut to the chase and email me some questions or figure out, hey, do you think we can do this? Here's my issues, here's my problems, here's my questions, then feel free to email me at jason@keyhomelending.com. And of course, again, if you haven't already, hit subscribe because I'll be putting out more videos just like this, just maybe a little long-winded. I think most will be shorter than this one, but I really want to go over like everything that I know about like our family's move down here. So yeah, that's an HOA. Your other options are if you're looking for a lot of land, if you already have a network or you don't really care, maybe you don't care about meeting a ton of families right away, then there's areas, Loxahatchee, the Acreage, and there's spots, Palomino, just south of Olympia, just like south of us, where you've got lots, which is not an HOA community, so you don't have to pay the damn dues. I hate paying HOA dues, by the way, it stinks. But they do cut our grass, and that's included. So, but if you want a little bit more land, our lots are not very big. You can kind of see from these houses here. Our house is just kind of like any of these other ones. But we don't have big lots. If you're looking for a little bit more freedom, if you're looking for big old lot, then again, Loxahatchee, Acreage, Palomino, a bunch of other areas as well. So just reach out to me and I'll give you those. I'll give you an idea of those. That's a perfectly reasonable place to be. We have lots of friends up there. And then you also have places like Old Wellington, whereas this is an HOA. You've got lots of HOAs here, kind of east, a little bit east of Wellington in the eastern area. But if you go west, then you have more. Then you have Old Wellington, which doesn't really have HOAs. They're just single standing homes. A lot of them aren't an acre, so they might be kind of a quarter to third to half acre lots, depending on where you go, but no HOA as well. And you got townhomes on Lake Wellington, which is right down, like in downtown Wellington, if you want to call Wellington downtown. That's kind of a tough one. Sorry, I'm paddling again. Now I'm paddling into the wind with one hand, which is pretty difficult. So watch me struggle to keep my train of thought as I'm paddling up here. So those are kind of the different places that areas that you can move to, at least again in Wellington. And again, you have Palm Beach Gardens, you have Delray Beach, you have Jupiter. Jupiter's a hugely growing area. One thing, oh, here's some birds flying. I don't know if you can see it or not. There you go, looks like a duck. There's 2 more ducks. Man, the nature here is just spectacular. So a bunch of different towns and areas, and it just depends on what your budget is and what you're looking for. There's Singer Island, just everywhere. I'd be on this for like 2 hours if we went over all the different areas. But I'm an expert on Wellington. I've lived in Palm Beach County for 6 years, so again, I can tell you. I can connect you to the realtors in an area that you want to move to or where you're kind of looking to investigate, and they can give you kind of lowdown on the housing market, and then I can give you the most important. The money is the easiest thing. The mortgage is so easy. I'll tell you exactly what to do, what to get, and whether you've got to work on stuff before you move down here or whether, hey, welcome home, you can be here in 30 days. We actually, this is crazy, and this is August of 2019, pre-COVID time, when we finally decided to make a move. We put our house up in June of 2019, late June of 2019. It went under contract in 1 day. It's crazy. We just got lucky. Maybe we priced it low, I don't know. But went under contract. We found a house down here in Olympia. We moved and we were here in August of 2019. Again, not knowing anybody, it was kind of a challenge. People were very nervous, but we did it, and I think this was the best, by far, the best spontaneous decision, maybe impulsive decision that I ever made. So I'm super happy. You can probably tell. I could go on and talk about this forever. Yes, I'm a mortgage broker. Yes, I'm connected with lots of realtors, so I'm happy to help you as far as that goes. But just talking about this area is just, it's awesome because this area has really done so much for me and for my family. So I'll end this video here. If you want to learn, again, how a move could work for you, if you have anything to talk through, fears, nerves, that's probably the biggest thing, is what's up here, right? And I'm not a psychologist or anything, but again, I've been through this. Again, it wasn't that bad for me, but my wife was nervous, and I know my kids were petrified as well. But everything it's just working out so well. So if you want to get in touch, you can reach out to me at jason@keyhomelending.com. Again, jason@keyhomelending.com. Just reach out and subscribe if you'd like, and you can catch all the future videos about this. We're headed out to lunch today with some friends, actually clients and friends from New York who made the move about 3 years ago. We're catching up with them at Waterway Cafe, which is just in North Palm Beach, right just a little bit south of Palm Beach Gardens. Maybe it's in Palm Beach Gardens, I don't know. We're going there, we're gonna have some lunch on the water. It's amazing. And in between now and then, I gotta get back and do a little bit of work because I got mortgages to close. All right, guys, take care of yourself. Please subscribe and let me know if you need anything. Thanks, and hey, hope to see you soon. Maybe you'll be a neighbor. Take care.